the Headhunters, the Bush Babies, N17, the ICF and the Bushwhackers. What do all of these names have in common? Violence. Hardcore football violence. There are around 100 football firms in Great Britain in the late 20th century, but where did it all begin? We can trace football violence back to the 14th century. In the year 1314, King Edward II banned the pastime of football. He believed that the unruly disorder surrounding the game would eventually lead to social unrest and even treason. Fast forward 400 years to 1885 and we reach the first documentation of football violence. Preston North End beat Aston Villa 5-0 in a friendly match. At the end of the game, both teams were punched, kicked, spat at and pelted with stones. The following year, Preston fans fought with QPR fans in a railway station. Although football hooliganism has been an issue for over 150 years, it only started to gain media attention in the late 50s. By the 1960s, there were 25 reported incidents each year in England alone, and in the mid-60s, the term football hooliganism started to be used. Many people argue that the mass interest shown by the media encouraged people to partake in football hooliganism, and from then on, football hooliganism was at its height, and firms were created and there were more reports of violence at most games. It's the general consensus that football hooliganism is near enough to extinct, but is that the case? This is Britain's fiercest football firms. Now, it's nearly impossible to talk about football violence without mentioning this club here. We're here at Millwall Football Club, outside the Den, where Millwall have been playing since 1993. Their firm, the Millwall Bushwhackers, is almost as well known as the team itself. Formed in 1970, it was called the F Troop. It later changed to the Bushwhackers. Now, this ground here has seen its fair share of football violence, but it's normally on away days where the Millwall fans really turn it on, and there's no bigger away day than where we're heading to next. Now, in order to properly understand the Millwall-West Ham rivalry, we've come down to here, to Docklands. On this side, you've got the Surrey Quays, where the Millwall fans were. And on the other side, before any of those tall buildings even existed, is the Royal Docks, where the West Ham fans were, and the claret and blue flags flew high. Just behind me is the Berlin pub on Green Street. Now, just the name Green Street is enough to evoke bad memories for some. In fact, the 2005 film, which was named Green Street, is based around West Ham and the ICF, and some of it was filmed in the Berlin pub just behind me here. But that's just in the movies. We're here to look at some real life events, and one of the most notable being the Upton Park riots. Now, it's the beginning of the 2009-2010 season, and Millwall and West Ham have been drawn against each other in the League Cup. Millwall fans met the West Ham fans outside of the Upton Park Stadium. 20 were injured and 1 was stabbed. During the game, there were at least 50 people invading the pitches on 3 separate occasions, leading to the game being temporarily suspended once. West Ham won 3-1 and went through to the next round, but it was after the game that it really kicked off.
We're not creative enough, we're not positive enough.
It's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home.
We'll go on getting back, on getting back, on getting back, on getting back.
It's coming, football's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home.
We're here outside the 1966 World Cup monument. Just opposite me is Green Street and the old Berlin ground. Now, whilst it may not look like much now, this was once a haven for English football and subsequently English football hooliganism. Now, to give you some context on the West Ham football firm, the Intercity firm, their most notorious leader was a man called Cass Pennant. He led the firm between 1970 and 1980 and was sentenced to 4 years in prison for his crimes in football hooliganism. After his 4 years were up, he joined a nightclub security firm and was shot 3 times. He still survived. He now works as a consultant on films and documentaries about the topic. Loftus Road, the home of QPR. For 3 years, QPR have been playing here in the EFL Championship. And in the 1970s and 80s, when football hooliganism was at its height, the Bush Babies dominated the streets here at White City. One particular incident takes us back to 2011. This was following a 2-2 draw against Bristol City. QPR and Bristol fans caused hundreds of pounds worth of damage on Uxbridge Road after there was a big fight in a pub when the QPR fans reportedly wouldn't let the Bristol fans in. Wembley. Built in 2007, this ground is synonymous with football worldwide. What used to be the Twin Towers at the old entrance is now the iconic arch which dominates the London skyline. Now tensions are normally running high here, whether it be cup finals, internationals or big European nights, this ground has seen it all, which means it's also a haven for football thugs. One particular incident takes us back 3 years ago to 2016, where England played Scotland here in a World Cup qualifier. There was scuffle after the game and 2 men were arrested in Trafalgar Square, which is where the 2 fans met before the game. In previous years there's been massive tensions between these 2 fans, and in one incident the 2 fountains were filled with washing up liquid, leading the square to be flooded with soap and foam. And in previous occasions the 2 teams have been banned from playing each other because of the violence.
It's okay for now. Put my pride to the side, don't wanna let you down. Take my heart and crush it, leave it splattered on the ground. Your love is like a bomb from a distance, hear the sound. Tell me that you here for me when nobody's around. Ay, but I guess it's okay for now. Put my pride to the side, don't wanna let you down. Take my heart and crush it, leave it splattered on the ground. Your love is like a bomb from a distance, hear the sound. Where did we go wrong? Seems like everything changed. Shawty used to be my main thing. Let her walk with me on the stage. Throw the water out, let her rage. Write my pain in every single page. If I knew you would've fucked me over, then I never would've made my way. I can't stand when you lie to my face. Texting back, be like, give me my space. All alone like I'm locked in a cage. Run it up cause I like to get paid. Moved on and you still throwing